Welcome! Filthy kitchen cooking with Squadman. It's very late, but I don't have to work tonight. I have to work tomorrow. So I am going to do something about this hunger I'm dealing with. I'm going to, I would call it a burger, but it's a no bun burger. So basically I'm going to make the equivalent of burgers minus the bun. Okay, so what I got, I bought this here ground beef. It's on sale at the supermarket. So I'm going to take me some of this ground beef, and I got 2 eggs left from yesterday's eggs. But I did buy more eggs at the supermarket today. So anyway, I'm going to take some of this here ground beef, put it in this bowl, and the 2 leftover eggs, I'm going to crack these into the meat. And I do have the frying pan with a bit of olive oil in it, extra virgin olive oil. Not really necessary for what I'm doing here today, but anyway. It's there. At least, if nothing else, the oil in the pan will tell me that the temperature of the pan is hot enough to reach the smoke point. So I got 2 eggs in here, and I got this beef. So this is pretty gross, but that's it. I'm going to squish this around. This is very disgusting, and it is extremely cold. My hand is pretty well frozen right now. I didn't realize this meat was so cold, but my God, is it ever chilly. So, mixing the egg with the beef like so. So this is going to make this ground beef basically stick together when I cook it into like a hamburger patty type thing. And actually I wasn't planning on doing this. I was just planning on cooking it like ground beef, but maybe I'll turn it into a big patty. And then I will add cheese and oops. Bit of beef and egg went on the floor. It's too bad I don't have a little dog here to enjoy that. But anyway, that's not what I have. I don't have a dog here. So I'm going to, maybe I'll just make this into a big patty. Then I'm going to add cheese and burger toppings. I got some relish, I got some ketchup. That's about all I have. I might have some honey mustard. I don't have any normal mustard, but I'm not really big on the mustard. All right, so this egg is pretty well mixed in with the beef. My hand is very cold. I should have probably let this meat come up to, if not room temperature, then certainly warmer than it is. And I'm waiting for the oil now to reach the smoke point. Whew. Looks like the oil is hot enough. Moving that around. So yeah, I'm gonna take this concoction, plop that into the pan, listen to that sing, and cold meets hot. I got it on medium heat. If you want anything higher than medium heat, then olive oil is not the oil to use. Olive oil does not do well in high heat. Olive oil is not really, now some may disagree, but the truth is olive oil is not really a great oil to cook with. Beef tallow, duck fat, something like that is better. even butter, if you can prevent butter from burning. And surprisingly, you can keep butter from burning to a degree by mixing it with, by putting down a little olive oil first. But, you know, bacon fat, these things are very good for cooking in. It's all about oxidation and acidification. What happens with oil, even in your engine, motor oil for instance, is what's called the oil breaking down. And it basically means the oil gets cooked. And when the oil gets cooked, it becomes acidic. It oxidizes and performance goes down. So, problem with olive oil is this oxidation happens a lot faster and at lower temperature than things like beef tallow and duck fat and bacon grease and things like that. So, for that reason, these other oils are superior to extra virgin olive oil. But for low heat, not a problem. I prefer my extra virgin olive oil raw, eaten in a salad, personally. And good with balsamic vinegar. I don't have any of that, but basically the only thing you need for salad dressing is fresh extra virgin olive oil, fresh balsamic vinegar, and if you want some herbs and spices type thing, you can add those, but not really necessary. Alrighty, so this beef, I just washed my hands because I was playing with the beef. A lot of the fat now is coming out of this meat, which means I didn't really need the olive oil, which is fine. But at least it's not really sticking to the pan as much as it would. This is not a non-stick pan. This is a stainless steel pan. Now, you can temper stainless steel pans the same way you temper cast iron pans, which you basically treat them with beef tallow and temperature, bake them in the oven type thing. I'm not really going to go into that, but I'm sure there's lots of information on the internet about how to do that. And it effectively kind of makes your pan a bit of a non-stick pan. Now the difference between this stainless steel pan and a cast iron pan is that you generally want to wash this stainless steel pan all the time. With your cast iron pan, you don't really wash it all that often, if at all. And if you do wash it, you have to basically temper it again or treat it again, which is a bit of an ordeal. But me being kind of a clean freak, I tend to want to clean my pans after use. And a lot of that is because, you know, I kind of grew up with non-stick pans, which are actually very bad for your health and should be avoided if at all possible. Non-stick pans, especially if they have Teflon. Teflon is a wonderful invention. It was actually developed during the space race to be a synthetic lubricant, like an oil. But under high temperature, it actually melted and stuck to the steel surface that it was being tested on. And it melted on and stuck onto the surface and wouldn't come off, and that's how non-stick pans were invented, by accident. Much like the Slinky, for instance, and a lot of inventions were invented by accident. Crazy glue, for instance. Crazy glue was invented, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when they were trying to come up with a very thin, non-scratch coating for glass, and I believe it was for rifle scopes. And anyway, when they tried to coat the glass with it, they discovered how sticky it was and how good a glue it was, and yeah, it wasn't really effective for the purpose they had hoped it would be, but it certainly had other uses, which, as you know, crazy glue or super glue, or I believe it was first marketed as super glue, and I think crazy glue is just a variant, but it's the same compound. And they actually use a sterile version of super glue or crazy glue in the medical field, where they have sterilized super glue that they use to close wounds and other things like that, which is interesting. You can use regular super glue, but the difference is it's not sterile. It's potentially contaminated, whereas, you know, you could get sick eating it. It's the same thing with pet food. Pet food, humans can basically eat pet food, but the difference between pet food and animal and human food is the grading system. You have grade A beef, grade B, grade C, same with eggs, things like that, and they have different uses. Well, grade F food means it fails. It's not fit for human consumption. That doesn't mean you can't eat it. It just means that the standards in the factories where it's made aren't up to the same degree of scrutiny that a factory that produces food for human consumption. You know, they have these people that come in, these inspectors, food inspectors, to make sure everything is clean and everything is, you know, proper temperature and things like that. Whereas the pet food is a much lower standard. For instance, you know, if somebody drops some meat on the ground in a pet food factory, they'd just pick it up and probably reuse it, but that would give you an F rating, not fit for human consumption in the other world. And a lot of grade F ingredients, not fit for human consumption, well, that goes straight into animal feed. Dog food, things like that. Oh, all this jibber jabber, I didn't add any salt and pepper. So I can do that now, not a problem. I could have added this a little earlier. I'll put some salt, I'll put some pepper. I could have put some other things in this, but basically I'm just making non-bun cheeseburgers. I couldn't see any salt come out, I'll assume some did, and I put some pepper on there. And that's basically all I'm doing with this. I'm cooking it, salt and pepper, ground beef. It's not like the other ground beef. I could have had this more as a patty, but it's broken up, but it's not as broken up as it would have been if it was just regular ground beef. So what I'll do with this now is I'm going to put my burger condiments on it. I'll put some ketchup, I'll put some relish, and yeah, I'm just going to eat it as if I was eating a cheeseburger. Oh yes, and of course cheese, obviously. Can't have a cheeseburger without cheese. So that's cooked enough. I'm turning off the heat. So hope you enjoyed our little cooking here. This is what it looks like. When you're cooking ground beef, basically you cook it until the pink comes out. It's all kind of browny gray. That's fine. It's been cooked all the way through. Medium heat is fine. 7 minutes or so should kill everything that's dangerous. I believe this has been cooking for longer than 7 minutes. You want to cook your ground beef longer than you cook your steaks because, as I told you earlier, that was not brought up to room temperature. It was extremely cold when I put my hand in it, so it would require a lot more heat to get the job done. Whereas with my steaks, I generally bring them up to as close to room temperature as possible. Although sometimes they're a little chilly, they're certainly not as cold as that was. My hand is still feeling kind of cold. And yeah, they're fine, medium rare, things like that. There's enough heat. So all the pink doesn't need to be cooked out of a steak as it kind of does with ground beef. Even with, excuse me, that's the pepper talking. But even with ground beef, you could have it slightly pink if you want, but just for safety reasons, I'm not using a meat thermometer or anything like that. I'll move this around a little so that I don't burn it. A little bit of brown is good. It's just the caramelization of some of the sugars that are in the egg and in the meat. Anyway, I'm babbling here a little. So anyway, who loves your baby? This guy. Thanks for spending some time with me. Remember, you're somebody's favorite person out there, maybe mine. Till next time, goodbye. Love you.